Hi, my name is Jeff and welcome back to my workshop. Today we are going to continue working on the city scene that we're building for the Arlington Heights Society of Model Engineers portable layout with Martin hardware. Now this building had been previously assembled by somebody but not completed. So I did print a sign and I'll put a link in the description of how I weathered it. I just printed on my printer and then weathered it up. I think we're going to put it right there above the storefront entrance below the windows. It fits nicely in there. So that'll go on later in the video. But before we do that, we need to deal with the windows. Now, this is kind of a rundown area that we're building. So I think in this case, we've got some work to do. The roof was never painted, so we need to paint that, kind of take that shine off of it. That also makes it'll be easier to put the glazing in the windows and kind of add some detail there because we can get in from both ends. I'm going to start by boarding up one of the windows as if it had been broken. I just took a piece of strip wood that happens to be 4 foot wide and actually 8 feet long, so it actually represents a sheet of plywood. And I stained it in with my India ink wash. And then I just cut and sanded it to fit the window opening. And then I'm going to use some Eileen's tacky glue to glue it in place. And one of the things I'm doing just to help make it fit a little easier and to hopefully keep more glue off my fingers is I'm applying glue to 3 of the 4 sides of the board. And these are the 2 sides and the top. For the bottom, I'm actually going to apply it to the window opening, to the sill. This gives me a clean edge with which to hold the wood while I get it in place. Then I can bring it in and pop it in place and hold it in. Be careful as you wipe glue away because until that solidifies, that can happen. We'll get it in place, we'll get the excess glue wiped off and cleaned up. Fortunately, the tacky glue dries clear, so not going to be a big deal. The next thing I needed to do was install the window glazing, which I did off camera. With my hands inside the model, there's not a lot of room for the camera, but I just glued it in with some clear styrene, thin clear styrene with canopy glue, and then I also used canopy glue to attach the window shades. The address was added. It's just a decal strip that was added to the glazing before I installed it. And for the shades, I used a piece of file folder cut to size. As you can see, they're just glued in place. Again, I used the canopy glue so it would make sure it dries clearly when attached to the clear styrene. So with that done, we need to deal with the roof. I painted it a grimy black color. My favorite is a Vallejo Hobby spray paint. Their pans are gray. With that painted on the outside, I can install it and glue it in place with liquid styrene cement. Just run a little bead along the edges of the roof where the roof hits the walls. And then we'll let this dry. While I'm gluing this in, give me a moment to let you know if you enjoy my videos. I try and get a new video up every week, plus a short. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss my videos. Okay, with the roof glued on, we can add the sign. I just spread a thin layer of tacky glue onto the back of the paper sign, and then just using my tweezers to hold it, put it in place, and press it down against the building and wipe off any excess glue. The next thing I need to do is build a foundation that the building will eventually sit on. Now this is going on a portable layout, so the buildings will be removed for transport, but the bases, the foundations, will be permanently glued to each section of the layout. So I cut a piece of 060 styrene to fit, and then I spray painted the top a Painter's Touch 2X Perfect Gray. But for that area in front of the windows and in the doorway, I want it to look more like concrete. So I'm going to use this folk art paint. It's crushed stone and a sponge. And just put a little bit on the sponge and then dab a lot of it off onto the paper towels. So kind of almost like a dry brush type technique. And then I can lightly tap that into place just along the front edge of the foundation and go a little deeper in the middle where the door is. And I'd rather have it go a little into the building than have stuff exposed. I also want to do the edges so that from the side, depending on how high the scenery goes around it, it looks like a concrete slab. I'll get all the edges done and then let the paint dry. The other thing that needs to be done is I need to put a hole in the middle to run wiring in case we add any lighting, and I do want to add a little bit of light to the building. I also put 2 pieces of 1/4-inch square tubing glued into the corner to lock the building in place. And I cut a piece of cardboard to fit diagonally in the building, and I painted it the same grimy black, the Panzer Gray paint that I used on the roof. That just sits in the building diagonally like so and acts as a view block so you can't see through from front to back. Now if I had windows on the sides, I would probably do an X-shaped view block, but since there are none, do it this way. In the back, I'm probably going to put a gooseneck lamp over there, just like I planned to do on the electric supply house we did in the last video. I'm still waiting for those to arrive. But that's the video. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next video. Please make sure, let me know what you think of the video in the comments, and if you know somebody who might find it useful, please share the video.